You should run for office.
You know, I've got too many skeletons.
Everybody does.
Yeah, but, you know, I'd have every ex-girlfriend coming out. You know, I mean, I've never been in jail, but I'm too honest to be a politician.
Oh, yeah?
You know,
Amazing.
I look at Gavin Newsom, our governor. He's horrible.
He is.
But he could lie to a widow and get her vote.
Yeah.
So I can't be like that. I'm too honest.
Amazing. Oh, and speaking of that, I think I read somewhere, I may be wrong, that the Kennedy guy that's running for president.
He's my cousin.
What's his name?
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
That's your cousin?
My dad's sister, Ethel Kennedy, is his mom.
Wow.
So it's, and I couldn't even get on his comedy show. Like that, you talk about comedy in a nutshell. My first cousin is running for president.
Right.
He has a comedy show to get campaign funds, and I'm the only comic he knows. I still couldn't get on the show. So he lost my vote. I voted for Jill Stein, the Jewish broad.
Oh, man. I'm sorry to hear that.
She gets less votes than he does.
Right. And so does he know you? Like, are you guys close?
I mean, we're not close, but he was at both my parents' funerals, and, you know, I've seen him at Gold's Gym working out shirtless.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean.
And so does he ever come to any of your shows, or has he ever come?
They're too late for him. You know, I go on at midnight.
Oh, I see.
At the Comedy Store, so I don't. It's hard to invite people to shows.
Especially that time of night.
Well, I close out the show usually, so you know they need. I'm like the closer in baseball. You know, you need someone to come in and put a stamp on the show.
And so, do they normally have the person that's the funniest to be last, or the person that's not funny?
Well, I hope it's not that. Well, comedy is subjective, so No, I think in the Comedy Store's mind, everyone's funny. So, and it's all different kinds of funny. Like, I'm very dry and sarcastic. You might have someone before me who's bubbly, and then the person before them is a combination of bubbly and sarcastic. You know, women, men, black comic, white comic.
Right.
So it's I think they trust me going on last because I have a good command of most rooms.
Nice.
Because I'm in there with the leather pants and the custom jacket.
Yeah.
And so people look at me going, we better listen to this guy. So, which is important at that time of night.
And so being a Kennedy, what's that like for you, and what was it like growing up?
Well, I'm a Skakel. That's even worse. It was interesting. My mom was a hillbilly from Cartersville, Georgia, so she didn't care about the Kennedys. I mean, Ethel Kennedy once came to our house. It was me and my mom. She came over, I'll never forget, maybe around 11 at night. She had like Secret Service with her, you know, just because her family's passed. And she knocks on the door. My mom opened it, left the chain on, so she's just looking through the doorway at one of the most powerful women on earth at that time.
Yeah.
And Ethel was like, Jenny, can I come in? And my mom's like, nah, and just shut the door in her face.
Wow.
She didn't care. Most people would be like, Ethel, come on in, there's some tea and crumpets.
Right.
But it was a strange, Skakels and the Kennedys, it's almost like the Hatfields and the McCoys. They're family, but they're kind of separate.
Oh, I got you. And so were you surprised when he endorsed the Great White Hope?
I think from what I understand, he was playing both sides. Like, I think he reached out to the Harris campaign.
Yeah, he did.
I
think I heard that too. I'm not sure.
You know, he's probably needs a gig, and he's probably trying to figure out, okay, who's going to win, and who should I align myself with, and I think after the first assassination attempt on Trump, he's like, and I thought as soon as he got shot and he raised his fist and, in defiance, I was like, oh, he just won the election. But then, it's like a prize fighting match, now Harris is kind of leading. So I think at that time, Kennedy probably thought, Trump's the guy to go with. So, but who knows? It's tight.
I don't believe she's leading.
You know, can I ask you a question? Why?
Because the media, they're really for her.
100%.
And they love to deceive us about everything. And I just think that they're pretending that she's leading, but she's really not leading. Because nobody like her. She's never done anything. She never stood for anything except socialism. And the blacks don't like her. So I just don't believe she's leading. You got to do more than just grin during a cat.
You know, I don't know if she's leading.
Right, I don't believe it.
I watch all three of the networks, you know, CNN, MSNBC, Fox, to get the real fair and balanced. Okay.
Right.
I mean, I was watching before I came here. She was at that same place Trump was at, the Black Forum.
Yeah, what a mess.
And well, I mean, today they were giving her softball questions.
Of course.
Not interrupting her. I mean, I'll give Trump this. He goes into enemy territory.
Yes.
You know, he has the first debate on CNN, that last debate on ABC with those moderators should be fired.
Yes.
And I'm truly independent. Like, I don't like either side, to be frank. So I'm like saying to both parties, hey, you want my vote? Sales pitch me.
Yeah.
And so far, neither has.
And so, are you voting for the Great White Hope?
Right now, I'm not voting for either.
How did you know who the Great White Hope was?
Well, I mean, when there's only two candidates, I'm going to assume you're not, talking about. I know you're not talking about my cousin. He when he endorsed Trump, he gave Trump about 5 votes. I'm assuming Trump. I'm assuming you mean Trump, unless you have another candidate. So you're voting for Trump
all the way.
All right.
I gave him the name, the Great White Hope.
Well, see, I'm thinking of Jerry Quarry, the boxer from the 70s. He was the Great White Hope.
Where's he now?
I think he's died of CTE.
I rest my case.
I mean, I was a huge heavyweight boxing fan in the 70s.
Yeah.
When white boxers were pretty good.
Yeah.
And then.
So are you voting for the Great White Hope?
Not right now. I just.
No, not now. In November.
I'm undecided. I truly am. Really? I'm not going to vote for. See, here's the thing. My next door neighbor is a political consultant. My favorite wrestler there is a point to this. As a child, was the wrestler Kamala Harris. He was the Ugandan giant.
Oh.
And I know the fans of the presidential nominee, her name is Kamala. But I call her Kamala, not to disrespect her, but I've said the name Kamala a million times because of the wrestler.
Yeah.
So
nice.
He's dead too, by the way.
I rest my case.
Yes.
So are you voting for come November?
You should get into politics. I voted for him in 2020.
Nice.
Because his financial policies, frankly, line up with where my money's at.
Yeah.
But I just, all the trials and the sexual assault stuff, it's hard for me. I believe like the E. Jean Carroll, I don't think she made that up. I got sisters and nieces. It's hard for me to, although I don't vote for the best person, like.
Nobody does, because there's no such thing as anyone without a past.
And right, so I got a lot of what for voting for him in 2020. And I'm like, listen, he cheated on his wife. I don't care. I care what he's going to do in terms of tariffs and.
Me too.
I hate to be. That's just the realistic way of politics.
Yes.
Biden's a scummy
Just think
guy.
about if you ran for office now, all your little dirt will come out, right?
100%.
But you probably would make a good representative.
Oh yeah, and I don't have that much dirt. I mean, a bad breakup, here and there.
Yeah.
That's about it. So I'm sure that girlfriend would be on CNN.
Trying to get the money.
So tell us about Earl. Well, there's no money at CNN. I mean,
right.
But I'm sure they would find her and tell us all the bad stuff about Earl. And I don't want to put up with that.
That's right. And so are you voting for the Great White Hope?
I'm going to vote for you. I like how I would like for he didn't have a great debate last week. He was a little off his game. And that was in part
I
because...
thought he won that debate because he went up against 3 people.
And I don't usually believe in, conspiracies or... but, that was so heavily one-sided in terms of their...
Yeah.
Fact check Kamala.
Yeah.
Finally said it right. Interrupt her once.
I call her Camilla.
Well, that's one of my favorite pro wrestlers.
Yeah.
I don't like... Here's what I don't like about her. I mean, let's be real. She's probably been the president for about a year now.
Yeah.
Because of Biden's cognitive decline. And I'm not making... I lost my dad to that kind of cognitive decline.
Yeah, my father too.
So I'm not making fun of Biden.
I understand that.
But, he definitely went downhill mentally. And I think she and most in her party, Schumer, Pelosi, they knew it too.
Yeah.
For about the last year. So when she sits there today, and she said it today, on day one, I'm going to do this. It's like, your day one started about a year ago.
A long time ago, yeah.
So, she's as full of what as Trump is.
Well, she has more than Trump. She's more full of it than Trump.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's pretty equal to me, in terms of, if you were to fact check both, they'd probably have an equal amount of check marks in terms of BS.
And so are you voting for him?
I really wish. No one makes me laugh. You make me laugh. I really wish there was a third party, not my cousin, that was a viable third choice. But I think in American politics, it's always going to be, you got to vote for one of the two.
Would you have voted for your cousin had he ran?
If he had a chance. I mean, when you're...
But he wouldn't have a chance if you don't vote for him.
I get that, but realistically, if I voted for him, he's still going to get 3%. And it's like voting for RFK Jr. is like wanting the Washington Generals to beat the Globetrotters. It's just never going to happen.
Amazing.
That's an old school reference, but
yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do. So are you voting for the Great White Hope?
You remind me a lot of my ex-girlfriend, who was from Alabama. She was very one.
Was she black?
No, she was not. When people spoke to her on the phone, they thought she was black because she had a southern.
Yeah.
And the same with my mom. People thought my mom was black because.
Right, that southern accent.
Cartersville, Georgia is like Mayberry.
Oh, yeah.